Restaurant Week. By this point, probably tired of hearing that if you've been actually watching. But we're here with some legends, getting to know the people behind the products that you guys will be encountering during that week. And, we just reached out to the best. Lots of them declined us, but a couple of them connected. And we're here with Sabor. Sabor. I guess you guys can explain who.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan, by the way. And
Michael.
And then
I'm Lais.
And Jacob.
Yeah.
Cool. So what is Sabor?
Yeah. Well, Sabor is a Brazilian food truck here in town. We have Brazilian cheese bread and Brazilian barbecue, and we're going to be actually launching new items for Waco Restaurant Week.
Okay.
Yeah, expanding the menu.
And I had the cheese bread at the farmer's market on Saturday, and my brain was not ready. I was like, whoa.
So I occasionally work at Real Fresh Co. down a couple tents down, and they would bring it all the time. Like, yo, we got the sport bread. I'm like, man, I can't eat bread because I'm yeast intolerant. So Waco Restaurant Week, don't offer me pizza. It's sad every time that happens. But their bread is tapioca based, right? Is that what
tapioca?
It is?
Yeah. It's all tapioca flour.
Wow.
So no gluten. Everything on our menu is gluten free. Like nothing will have gluten. And
Not
no
glutton
yeast.
free, but gluten free.
That's brilliant. Is that your tagline? Sabor, not glutton free, but gluten free. Glutton away. That's brilliant.
That's good. Put that on a shirt.
I'm glad I can eat it. Which one did you give me?
The black garlic. Black garlic.
What we call the Dracula.
The Dracula.
The Dracula.
This guy came up with all the names.
I can see it on his face.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
The Dracula. No, but it's good stuff. So tell us who you were before Sabor, and
how did that come about?
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Before.
I've always feel like my wife and I have always done things kind of unconventionally, or like we decided to get 3 foster kids within 3 months. So we went from no kids to 3 kids in a very short period of time. So it's like we just took the jump. We're like, oh, let's just do it, and and then when we got married, we were dating technically for 28 days, and then got engaged and then married within 5 months after that. And God was for both of those things. And so my wife's always wanted to start a company. She's always that entrepreneur spirit. Not me so much at the beginning. I was always nervous, or because she's the dreamer and I'm the guy that's like, okay, how does this actually realistically work? And she's been wanting to do stuff for years, and this got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm willing to take this risk. And it just
So we were both working for Magnolia at the time.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was working on the homes. He has maybe 30 seconds of the back of his head, his hand occasionally.
Okay.
My shoe has been
his
prominent.
shoe.
That might be where I probably saw you around.
I'm just a good-looking guy, regardless.
You were probably on some poster somewhere. It probably wasn't just
that.
Magnolia. It was probably Armani Exchange or something.
Pretty much. But we were both there, and we just came to a place that we're like, I just want to do my own thing. I've always wanted to do it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let fear hold me back. So I saw a trailer, and I can see a building, I can see a project, and be like, oh my goodness, and I can just envision it with new life. And I saw this trailer, and I'm like, okay, that's it, we're gonna do it. So I went home, and I told my husband, I was like, all right, let's buy a trailer. So we bought the trailer, and I'm like, I guess I gotta learn how to cook.
So we did things very backwards.
Yeah.
We kind of jumped
feet
first.
Literally the exact opposite
of what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
What you just
exactly.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny.
Very opposite. But I was like, all right, let's do it. So it took us 6 months to get the recipe right for the cheese bread. We had to import tapioca from Brazil because it's so different here. Very different.
Yeah. That's probably why I can eat it.
Probably.
Anything bread.
But I'm pretty sure some of the things we created could have like come alive and walked, because it was rough. It was really rough. I'm telling you, if you mess with tapioca flour, you'll know what I mean. But it was sad. But we got
Part
it.
of me is like, she's exaggerating.
No.
It's like she.
No.
Like from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, kind of scary.
You
kind
can
of
ask
things.
Forrest or Hayden, the two people that really helped us get this going, and they'll ask them
They'll
about
vouch for
the
it.
incident.
The incident. We don't talk about the incident.
Wait, can we get it?
Off camera, I want to hear the instant.
I kind of want to hear it.
We created life. It was supposed to be
It was-
Pontequejo, but it turned into
just
something
turned
else.
into something else. We don't know where it is. It's just
it's-
out there in
You
the
don't know
world.
where it is.
Wait, are you serious? I'm like, in my head now. I'm thinking
I mean,
that
you
bread
see the
just walked out of the
Pontequejo,
house.
it's supposed to be the dough, and it's supposed to be like
And this was
a little bit
like-
hard, and then that soft,
I can't
chewy
describe
side,
it.
and it came out like gelatinous blob that just kind of like.
Yeah.
So we put too many. I don't know what we did
we don't
wrong.
know what we did,
but-
but anyway, it took us forever to get it right, but we finally got it right. And then we're like, all right, we got to do more than cheese bread.
Which the trailer we got first, which is why you shouldn't buy a trailer when you start a business.
Business
was
advice
way too
101.
small.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, let's do food. And I was like, let's just do it. And the idea of gathering people and having them come and stay was really the foundation of our business, because food trucks is really kind of like grab and go, but we wanted to be able to create a food truck that was like, hey, come and stay a while. And that's our thing. Come and stay a while. And people like, put your phone away, just talk, open your eyes, lift up your eyes and talk to the people around you and create a sense of belonging. We know that a lot of people may feel like they're alone and that they don't really have community. We didn't know anybody when we moved to Waco. We just left our jobs and we're like, okay, what do we want to do with our lives now? Let's go to Waco. And God just opened up opportunities here for us. So here we are 3.5 years later.
That's awesome.
Doing this thing.
And so why the name? What does Sabor mean? And why
Sabor, yeah. So that means flavor.
Okay.
My mom
see?
actually said it, and the moment she said it, I was like, there it is. And immediately it came to me, we want to be able to bring the Brazilian flavor to Waco, but also the culture of Brazil. In Brazil, if you go into someone's home, the first thing they say is like, the house is yours, come on in. And you always, growing up, there was always like pastries or like fresh bread at the table that you would never touch, just in case somebody came by. I'd be like, Mom, can I just have that? She's like, no, you can't. Just in case someone comes by. There's always coffee, there's always food on the table, just in case someone comes by. So we wanted that to be a part of our business. Like, we were expecting you, we're so glad you're here, kind of a thing, So that's kind of the heartbeat of our company is like, okay, the Brazilian flair, the warmth of the Brazilian people, the hospitality, but it's also like, you were expected, like, welcome to our space. It's also yours.
Kind of like, that thing which you said where it's like if you walked in someone's home and you feel welcome, it's like we basically take that home, but we're putting it on wheels.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Home on wheels.
Home on wheels.
Not gluten free.
Name change.
Not gluten
Free.
Gluten free.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what were some of the? I mean, you've already kind of shared a little bit of the challenges. What were some of y'all's like successes and overcoming? What were some things y'all overcome to get here?
I know for me personally, in the beginning, I was very nervous, or I didn't know how this was going to play out. I still am, but not. I'm more willing to take risks now. Like I was very nervous about trying to start a business from scratch. Like how would that even happen, or we've never done food before, so it's like how
No
are we
idea
even
where to
qualified to do something like this? And it's because for me, I was just looking at the money. I was like, okay, it's going to cost this much to get the trailer. It's going to cost this much to be certified, and yada 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 yada. And because that's I'm the practical person, so that's all I was worrying. That's all I was
You balance
considering.
each other.
My wife's the dreamer,
Yeah.
and she sees the big pictures, the whole thing. And when we work together at our levels, like let's make sure we worry about the money, and she's like, let's dream. But then we come down and we share those aspects with each other.
Yeah.
That's where we thrive, and I'm really thankful that she was able to be patient enough with me so I could come down and work with her, because the business has succeeded solely because of her dreams and just that it's more than a business. It's the how can we bring that hospitality? How can we bring the heart of what she was just saying, like welcome to our home. Take a load off your mind, sit down, let's talk.
Well, some of the challenges was first the trailer. It was like, oh, my husband's 6'4". He needs to bend over. I didn't think about that. To be in the trailer. So then we did a trade, and the trade ended up like the trailer that we traded it for still didn't work. So we're on our third trailer right now, working on it right now. So that was I think that was the biggest thing, like figuring out, okay, what is it gonna, because we didn't have, a vision. Well, we had a vision of what it was gonna be, but we didn't think it was gonna grow as fast as it did.
We were just gonna do cheese bread at first,
which was
and
gonna
then we were
work.
like, oh, let's add the meat to it, that aspect, and then we're like, well, that's starting to be successful. Let's do it. Just so that we didn't even have a plan for what this business was, as it is right now.
Wow. So this business kind of took y'all for a ride. Y'all set it free, and it's
And so part of that journey was getting the identity, like your brand and your stuff together. I know you were in works with Jessica,
Yes.
who was a legend, by the way.
Legendary.
Jessica Hannon.
Talk to Jessica.
It's gonna go. I think it's gonna go down in history.
For sure.
She
We will
is-
read about her in history books.
She is unreal. So
She is, yeah.
How did brand management through her, how did that, how big of a piece did that play?
It's everything.
It's like 11 out of 10.
It was like we would not be at the level that we're at now without Jess. For real. It would not. She took my basket of words and my heart behind this business, and she made it into not only graphics, because it's more than just graphics. It's the whole identity. And she also made me believe in myself when I didn't. When I thought I was the only one fighting for this business, because as my husband said, he was hesitant. And you feel that hesitancy. And I'm like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to fight for my dream harder than anybody else, because no one else can fight for it as hard as I can. And not to dog on you, but
It's true.
he knows what I mean. He knows my heart. But with Jess, she was like, I'm going to link arms with you and we're going to do this thing. And I'm like, all right, yeah, we're going to do it. So your branding is more than this logo. Your branding is the heart behind it. And without her, it would not be where it's at now. We would not be sitting here right now without
we
Jess.
Equally say same thing. We had vision, we had ideas. She helped us streamline them and paint a quality picture.
Took it to so many levels you didn't even think.
It showed me the value of knowing your story in order to show your story.
Exactly.
And so we love
That's
you, Jess.
awesome.
I was gonna say you're the man, but you are a woman.
You're the woman.
So one of the things I love about y'all's space is that outdoor setup y'all have. It feels like you leave the farmer's market for it. Not that anything's wrong with the farmer's market, but it feels like you step into a new world when you go to your food truck, because you have this
Well, then that's good, because that's what we were going
That's
for.
what we were going for.
yeah. It's like
stepping into someone's backyard.
I kind of is this what Brazil's like? That I love that. I don't know. Has that been? How's that been?
Jess was like, "Hey, let's do tassels," and I'm like, "Girl, you wanna do tassels?" she's like, "I'll take care of it." So her and her roommates made tassels the night before our launch at the farmers market. Yeah, shout out to her roommates. I fed them all. I was on the house. Yeah. So we put up the tassels. The idea of the tables and the sunshade was something that we've wanted, because we're there's no place to sit. Even going to the farmers market, we're we need a place to be able to sit and be out of the sun, and just it's part of our vision too. Walk into our space, and we wanted to cultivate that space for people to walk into. So she made the tassels. We put the tassels, and it's something that has really people have been oh, I came because I saw the tassels. That's what caught my attention. Were your tassels. And I'm have you ever had Brazilian food before? Come on up, welcome. So it has really helped with our whole branding, I think, and
Just
with our
feeling
space.
welcome too.
Yeah.
So talk about your roots a little bit. So you're Brazilian. So were you born in Brazil, or like kind of what's that like?
Yeah, so I was born in Brazil, lived there until I was 8, and then we lived in Boston. I don't know why there are so many Brazilians in Boston. It is so cold. I'm like, what are you people doing?
Yeah, what is that?
Do you know there's like Texas?
Is it because of the New York entry point
I don't
thing?
know. Well, most people go through Boston. I think it's kind of like you have family and then you just kind of stay.
Yeah.
We broke out of that. We're like, Jesus, get us out.
Yeah.
So after 10 years, we moved to North Carolina, and then it was a little bit too slow for me. And I moved to East Texas, which was just as slow, but that's where I met my husband.
Okay.
We met at a discipleship program out there.
Okay.
And we just stayed in Texas.
And you don't really have an accent.
Yeah. she does kind of.
Okay.
When
You can
she
tell
gets
she used
tired,
to.
which is a lot when you're entrepreneurs and working all the time to make sure
Yeah.
your stuff, it comes out, and then it was
See me
really
after
tired.
9:30. And you'll say something different.
What is it like? Like, what is it? Brazilian?
I
I
don't
was
know.
with some Brazilians in France like 4 weeks ago,
Really?
and all they could speak was
I
Brazilian.
wish I had an accent. My
It
dad
was
has one.
awesome.
Oh, man.
Say something.
It's like
What?
is it
Just say-
I can't fake it. I used
Yes.
to fake like I could speak English. I would sit at the table with my cousin and be like, blah, 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 blah. Like I was faking English. And now I can't fake a Brazilian accent. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it turns
it's
like
t-
Russian.
Yeah, it's kind of like when people ask me like, "Yo, can you rap for us?" Like on the
Yeah.
spot.
You're
I'm
like,
like, "No, I can if you buy tickets to my next show."
Hey.
But like on the spot, I can do it when I'm feeling it. But it's like kind of one of those things you can't just like.
You can't.
click,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, but this guy's story is from California.
Yeah, California. I moved I moved from California when I was 22, and I moved to the internship where we met. So that was my great big move. And then ever since we've been married, we've moved like
I have itchy feet.
1.3 times every year. So
I've moved over 20 times in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a 2-year span where I lived in 4 different places.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long story.
But Waco's home
Yeah.
now, right?
Waco's
You
home.
guys, you
Well-
guys aren't going anywhere, right?
no, we'll be in the Waco area for a while. I don't know if we'll be in the same house in the Waco area, but
Yeah.
I'm already
Okay.
thinking of the next one.
Girl,
We just bought our house like a June.
what? Itchy feet. I've actually never heard that phrase.
Itchy feet?
Itchy feet. I had that hardcore.
Yeah.
Ask them the question you asked about the marriage dynamic. I don't know how to ask it like you.
Oh
That was a
yeah,
really good
so
question.
something. Yeah, we've been hearing from the couples that have been business partners are like, how has being business partners and life partners, how have they fed into each other and helped? Like, how's your life partnership grown?
Yeah.
Your business partnership grown?
the way we kind of see it is she's the full owner of Sabor, and I quite recently started my own construction business. So I'm like the full owner of that. And it's kind of like, okay, you know what? Like, I have a full voice in her business, but in the end, if she feels like it needs to go somewhere, like I'm gonna kind of trust her opinion. It's the same way with my side of business, and we both. She'll come to work with me sometimes. I'll go to work and help prep with the food or whatever.
Yeah.
At times, so it's worked out so far. There have been times where. We've shouted at each other while we were trying to get food prepped because there was like a rush one time, and it wasn't funny at the moment, but it's funny now. 'cause
Business tip 2. Always have 3 people. Yeah.
The third person.
Yeah.
And like it's funny because Waco they said like they try not to like work together all the time. They try to like. so that they're
Yeah.
not
I mean, before
enemies.
Waco, we worked together in a ministry. He was dean of
Yeah.
men and I was dean of women.
we actually
Dean of men.
yes.
I've never heard that in my life.
Director, dean.
Dean. I think my brother.
Yeah.
I mean, our dream is always to like because we had that job for 6 months and it ended, and then we tried to get a job together when we first moved to Waco, and just we couldn't
Didn't
get
work out,
jobs.
yeah.
And so that's our dream, is actually to work together. Like if our businesses could go a direction to where I could always be at Sabor or vice versa. So it's like we're almost together working we're still separate, but it's like it's closer to the dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very. It seems like that's controversial. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like the majority of the world. I've been actually advised in my own like relationship, and have other friends who've been advised the same way. Like, start your life separately, like figure it out on your own, then come together.
Oh
That's
no,
the
we
dream.
did. Yeah.
But it's like, I think there's things you miss out on when you have to fight for something together and fight for each other while you're fighting for something.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, we work. I mean, especially for me, her too a little bit, but way more me is I'm an introverted person. So there's like times that I need just to be isolated by myself or go like on a nature walk or something like that. And so, but we're both really respectful when we need like recharge time.
Yeah,
Otherwise, in business, we're pretty.
Yeah.
We work really well with each other.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I love it. Like like you said, people have said, you need to go figure out, be financially stable and, have a successful career. Oh, my bad. Before you, come together, find out. And I'm like, why not do it together? Why not like build a life together and figure it out together?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, whoa, don't never work with your spouse. And I'm like, why would I not want to work with your spouse?
Yeah.
I guess
So-
it's different for other people.
It is, yeah. Everyone's different.
That's just the way
but
it's always worked out for us.
For us, it's always like,
That's
I don't
good.
mind being around you 24/7.
You're
Go
good
run
looking,
your
so-
ninja rock, right?
Oh.
Thanks, thanks, man.
Probably
Thanks,
'cause
Jesus.
you have a good marriage, so
Yeah.
it's easy to do business together.
Yeah.
That relationship before the business part is like
Yeah.
what makes it easy, I guess.
Yeah. That's good.
I had a question about so the family part, like the foster kid. That was like
Yeah.
you said. I was like, they just like said that.
I work for
But-
a foster care agency, by the way.
Yeah,
so
my dad was a foster kid, and like I know it can vary between situations. Like,
Yeah.
how
Our
hard it
situation
but-
is very difficult right now. We were about a month away from adopting, and one of our children, he fell and got a cut, and there was a false allegation made against us that we abused our kids, so they removed them. So it's been about 5 months, and we had to get lawyers involved to fight to get them back. So it's kind of we kind of like casually just dropped that in there, but we know that God is sovereign and that His will and His way is like beyond our understanding. So we're just like, okay, God, we're just gonna keep pursuing our businesses. We're gonna keep building the life that we want, and if You allow our children to return, then so be Your will.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at, but
Yeah.
we were like this close to adopting, like
Yeah.
a month away, and that happened.
Just part
So-
of that, like, that's one. Sorry about that. Do you feel like that makes it hard? Is it fuel? Like,
A little bit, because a big reason for me that I really pushed to go independent on my own, and for Sabor as well, is we wanted to make sure we wanted jobs where we could make more time for our kids, and so
Because they needed us.
Yeah.
so it's really hard, because every day that we push hard to make these things more and more a reality, it's like our kids aren't here with us right now, so it's hard, but I have to trust God, because I would fall apart otherwise. And I know this interview went really different turn, but
no, that's okay.
It's life.
it's
Yeah,
just,
it's real.
if I have to believe that God is sovereign above all else, and if I don't believe that, then there's really no point for me to pursue this or doing, because God has to be the focus of everything we do. And along with the family thing and bringing people like come together, stay a while, it's like, yes, it's all important, but in the end of the day, it's all God and His sovereignty, and like we have to trust that. And so
Either God's everything or God's nothing.
yeah,
So
it's just,
Yeah.
and that's the only thing that really has carried us through
yeah.
this time, is even though we're doing this business and it's taken off and our kids aren't here, it's just God's in control, and that's why our businesses are successful, in my opinion, is
Yeah.
that, and just we haven't given up.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And part of that is in the heart behind Sabor as well, where we want to be able to work with the Cove and provide jobs for homeless youth, you know, and because we've seen how a child's life, you know, if not redirected, even like as a teenager, it can spiral to them becoming bio parents that have their children removed. So we're on the other end of that, and we have a connection with bio parents, and we pray for them and we gave them resources. So we want to be able to kind of break that, like nib that in the bud with homeless youth and working with kids and providing jobs, and show them like, hey, you have potential. Show them their worth, so they don't have to turn to drugs or alcohol or end up on that path. So we want to try to break that before. So that's something that we want to work towards. Have a partnership with different organizations in town.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. Man, you guys, I have like so much respect right now. Like, I don't know how y'all are like, yeah.
So much honor for y'all.
Yeah.
Like that, man, the people that we keep meeting, man, like the hearts, y'all, that behind what you're doing. I'm like, man, if your heart is not similar to this, like when you're doing this, like, why are you doing it? It's like, if you don't have some value or purpose behind what you're doing, who cares how much money you make in 100 years? No one's gonna remember you.
Exactly.
No one else is watching your bank account but you, unless you post about it all the time. But who's gonna watch? Like, people nowadays don't even know how to, like, they use money. Like, no one's. It's not. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It's like the story or the purpose behind what you're doing, and how much purpose it's providing to other people is why I believe you should do business, and why I think business exists and thrives. Without people, businesses, you don't have customers. Without customers, you don't have revenue. You know what I mean? So, like, and the fact that you guys want to not just, you know, not only be a good business, but you're going to be a stepping stone for at-risk youth or you know, anyone who doesn't have the opportunity to learn how to have a work ethic or go to a job or how to use money or, you know, even eat, you know, whatever. Like, that's huge, and huge inspiration to me and should be to everybody. So, man, love what y'all are doing. We're behind y'all 100%. Like, anything you need, within our means, we can
For sure.
Like, we'll help out. And, also, shout out to, again, Jessica for painting the picture of such a, like, amazing business. And so, man, unless there's anything else y'all want to say.
No, I think that's the high and the lows of
everything.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
This is life-giving.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
That's all we got. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Hope you're inspired. I definitely am. Go get you some good fun.
Do you have one tidbit?
What's up?
We're working on this fun project where we're actually going to have a fixed location. So actually right outside of Waco Work. There's a lot across the street from Waco Work that we're going to be. So if people want to come and check us out, we'll still be at the farmers market.
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday we'll be there, but that's a place that we're going to be. And so people can
y'all
come
rolling
and
out
try.
the new truck, right?
Yeah,
That's
new
right,
truck. Yeah, it'll be for Restaurant Week. So just, I guess my thing is just like, come give us a try. Like, try Brazilian food. Yeah. It's different, but it's good food.
It's good.
It's good food. Yeah.
Man.
Cool.
Don't really know what else to say, but
that's it, folks.
That's it, man. Signing out.
We just decided to start doing that the last time.
Yeah.